Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Steelhorse Station. Steelhorse here. Hope you are well. Hope everybody's had, for those that celebrated a nice Christmas. It's certainly been lovely in my part of the world. So I've enjoyed having the family around and doing a few fun things with animals and kids and all the bits that go with it. And summer's finally arrived in Melbourne, which is also a nice thing. Welcome along, Ravi. Good to see you there. Thanks for joining us. And there's somebody else lurking in the background. Feel free to lurk if you want, but also it'd be great to say hi. Let's jump in. We're back on Newlands today, so let's see what's what. We've got plenty of things going on. If we catch up on last time, we've just finished rowing up that grass. G'day, the Farming Sim Kid. How are you today? Great to have you along. Thanks for joining us. It's about, it's just gone 8 in the morning here on Newlands. We'll get this windrower off the field. Probably the most important job first up today. So you recall we put the corn grist mill down last time, and it's a bit slow, to be honest, and we're having trouble getting corn grist produced fast enough for the pigs. So I think we need to solve that problem, and the way to do that, we can't afford the factory building that would do it. That's almost 100,000. But what we could do is there is a mobile version, and I think we'd find it that we might be able to lease while we save up. There it is. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a little bit quicker for doing something at volume and give us enough to get a reasonable amount in the pigs. Yeah, so we want corn grist. So let's lease $1,700. That'll do. Let's take a tractor. Put you away because we've finished with you for the minute. Wiped out the cache, but I have sent a truck with some deliveries across to the farmers market, so I'm hopeful. In fact, I'm wondering why it hasn't arrived there yet. Get in there. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Was Santa kind to everybody? Oops, goodness, not doing that very well. Too much Christmas cheer, I can't steer. There we go. Let's get you off that tractor. Now we're going to actually need the bigger tractor for this job, I think. You can see I got all the forage off the field. I finished doing that. G'day, Cranky. Welcome along. Merry Christmas, sir. Hope it's been a fun, festive season for you. And Ravi's back with us. I didn't know if you'd gone to sleep, Ravi. As you can see, I ended up taking about a quarter of that field. Oh, that's excellent, Cranky. For forage. So gave us fresh corn, or fresh maize, and the rest I took in corn. So just very crudely, I didn't measure it exactly, but it looks like the yield in litres from forage is about 5 times the yield from corn, just as a, if anybody's interest. I was just teasing, Ravi. Hodge 173, how are you? Welcome along. Now, why is my trees not selling there? Being annoying. Quite interesting how touchy that trigger is. Get up there. I got a little bit. Some days we have no trouble with it at all, and other days... There we go. Must be a height thing. There's a little bit more cash in the bank though, which is good. So we'll send you back. Whoops, get back in there. Potted tree, load. Yeah, off you go. So we're just on the way to the dealership to pick up a piece of equipment. The situation that we find ourselves in, we put down a placeable little, I mean, you'd have to almost call it a hand mill to create corn grist, and it works. It's just fiddly and slow, so it only takes 1,000 litres as input. The triggers are a bit tricky. Oh, that needs Luprasil, doesn't it? So if we... I think that's the stuff that you put in with corn grist to increase the yields. What we got here? Bond silage. Seed treatment. I'm pretty sure my reading said Luprasil was the gear that you need. Molasses water, filtered water, Luprasil. That's the one. Yeah, that's the symbol. So if we buy some of that. Okay. Now, how do you load? Yeah, so the little placeable one was too slow. I'm hoping this is a little quicker. It's only cost us 1,700 to... Shame there's not a little platform on there. I wonder if we can be cheeky. And just sort of stick you on there. And have any chance of you making it across to the farm. There we go. The sun's up. So the idea, basically the pigs are consuming almost as fast as that little machine makes it. So that wasn't really working for me as a source of corn grist. And I think ultimately what we need to do is save for the building that's 100,000 that makes the corn grist. But that's okay. We can deal with that. bit of a collisions challenge there. Which one? Are you in that storm that is affecting North America, or is that all south of you? You can see a trailer full of corn sitting over there. Ah, okay. That's probably a good thing. Now, let's set this up with a little bit of space so that we can move stuff. So, what are the instructions here? Pipe out. Maybe it is a little storage area for the Luprasil, because it looks like it's got straps on it, no? That would be very cute if it was. Oops. It just doesn't, the collision suggests it doesn't quite fit in there. What are you doing? No, it doesn't want to go in there. Okay, well, let's pull that out of the way. So that's that one there. So I'm guessing we just put corn in the hopper. It's not in time. How do I get the other? That's that one shut. Okay, let's just put corn in the hopper and see what happens. The engine is running. What's in you? You have some corn in you. So I need an auger to overload that hopper, don't I? I might have some in here even. No? I emptied you out. Okay. Busy, busy, busy. So let's move you over. Oh, lovely fresh blanket on Christmas morning. That would have been nice. Yeah, I have to say the weather here has been sensational for the last 2 or 3 days. It's going to be 37 Celsius today, so a bit warmer than most of you folks are experiencing. But Christmas Day was about 31 or 32, and much the same yesterday, which I have to say I enjoyed. Now, can we... let's see here. We want to get trailer with the train door, right. There's quite a procedure to get this sorted out. I'm definitely thinking ultimately the building is the way to go for this activity. Now there is a maybe doing it with the scoop is still the best way to do it. It's just do. It's just backing that dolly trailer up to the back of the auger is the issue. Oh, minus 50s. Yuck. No, I'm sorry, you can have minus 50. That's just plain cold. There is no other word for it. Even with good gear, plain minus 50 strikes me as cold. This is corn, so if we can get the grain door in the right spot, tip side grain door, we should be able to. Get you. Let's have a look here. Can I bring you down a bit? There we go. I want to go the other way. It's kind of correct. Now then, the convoluted process that we're following here, I'm sure if you were doing it for real, you'd paint squares in your forecourt so that you knew where to put all your equipment. It's kind of looking like it's in the right spot. So now I can overload corn. That's promising. And it's going into there. Very good. I don't know what the capacity... So that works much better than the other one. What's the capacity of this guy? Ooh, it might be close to what I've got in the trailer, which is handy. Because then I can... It was. So now we can get the other lot. Almost like I planned it. Now if we put this under, my understanding is that grist thingy should start grinding away and make us some corn grist, which we can then take up to the pigs. Like that. There we go. And that is much more effective than that little machine. Beautiful spring, sunny summer, spectacular fall. Cool. Yeah, the last 3 days here have been brilliant blue skies, not a cloud in sight, just gorgeous. Absolutely delightful. And this morning's shaping up to be a hot one. So it's nice to be sitting here at 8 o'clock in the morning in a t-shirt. Rather that than sandstorms, I can understand that. I'm not big on sandstorms myself. They're not much fun. Okay, so that's coming along. That's going to work. So I think what we do... Let's get rid of this thing that we put down last time, because let's face it, it's just not practical. Sell the grist mill, yep. So that gets us back at $3,000. Now we need to go over here and send some more trees to market. We also look like we've got some honey to sell there today. And the other thing that needs to be on our list is I think we've got to sort out solid fertilizer production so that we can keep the vegetable part of the operation going, because that seems to be a challenge. The distributor is not operating properly. Well, that's always the case, right? Our media here at the moment are having an absolute field day. Like that, I was watching just the overnight news before I started to stream, and over the last few years, the main networks have sort of concentrated their bulletins at many times of the day into Sydney. So there's a fairly strong Melbourne-Sydney rivalry at the best of times. Well, anyway, according to the Sydney newscaster this morning, Melbourne's in for record-breaking extreme heat. Now, I don't know about you. I mean, 37 is hot, but it's hardly record-breaking, especially not in December, January, February, so the middle of summer. 47, now that's pretty warm. I can only ever remember one 47-degree day, and that's just plain unpleasant on the other end of the scale. But 37, not so much. So lots of people like drama associated with the weather at the moment, I think. But we'll get this one sent across. I was thinking if we're comfortable we've got enough corn and the like, I was looking at the food here, so that corn grain grist is what we want. I can't see any real point in making CCM. That's just corn grain grist fermented, and unless it gives you some sort of bulking up benefit, I can't see why you would bother. Maybe in real life you can't keep corn grain grist and you've got to ferment it in order to preserve it. I don't know, but that's the only reason for having both. But I was thinking we might, because we'll have corn grain grist, maybe we start looking at some chickens. We don't have any soybeans at the minute, but we could certainly plant some soybeans and some sorghum, or some soybeans and some wheat. So maybe there's chickens in our future. Yeah, that's a big swing. I remember I've only been to Canada a couple of times, and it was always Toronto on business, and I flew out. I had to do an urgent trip one year. I flew out of here on about the 18th or 19th of December, and it was a 30-something degree day. It was pretty hot, and we'd had a string of hot days. And I got off the plane in Toronto at -6 with a colleague who'd never seen snow before, and we got to the hotel, and it's a pretty long flight from Melbourne to Toronto, and I suggested that it was early evening, and I suggested that we sort of just grab a walk, thing. We've been cooped up in aircraft for the best part of 27 or 28 hours. And he turned up in the lobby with a sort of a light spray jacket, no hat, and it was, -6 or -7, and I said to him, "It's not going to work, mate. You're going to freeze." And sure enough, by the next morning when we had to make our way to the office, he discovered that more clothes were definitely better. It's quite amusing. What wasn't so amusing was the fire alarm call at 1 AM. That was not much fun. Go to the tree cell. You're not going to get through the gates, so we've got to keep an eye on you. Oh, there you go. That's the sort of weather stat you like to see. That keeps them going at trivia days for forever. You can add that one to your collection, Cranky. Now, what are we going to do here? We don't need more cash at the minute. What we need is to get that. Oh, that's where that tractor is. I was because the I was discovering, I'll show you. We've got a fermenter which we'd upgraded, a distributor rather. And it's almost run out of fertilizer now, but it's not distributing reliably. That's why I've only got it on, and I wondered if it was because everything was turned on, because we had a few of our productions, these ones notably, that are just not getting enough fertilizer, yet they should be comfortably delivered with the volumes that the distributor should be putting out. So I need to look into why that's not seeming to. That should be delivering 7,900 a month, which should be more than enough to feed the 4 greenhouses, which only take, what are we, 0.6 of 1,200. So I don't know what's going on there. Something's not right. But whatever it is, it's impacting our production of that stuff. Yes, very entertaining. I'll hang on to that one. Now, so that's our seed production. That worked really well last time. That's our big auger for loading. So now, okay, so now we've got a bunch of this stuff. We can take this up to the pigs and that'll make them happy for a while. We've got more corn to process, but the main thing I wanted to do was get the pigs fed so that we at least get it through the winter. Then we've got to collect the grass that we cut on that field and plough that up. Come on, straighten up, straighten up, straighten up. Get over there. I hate dolly trailers. I should turn the tractor around, it'd be easier. Bruce Salter, how are you, sir? Merry Christmas. Behave. I'm outside the trigger now. Come on. Kick in. No. Happy holidays to you. We do Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Don't stand on ceremony here. Where do you not? There we go. Now we overload some corn grist and let's have a look at our pigs and see how they should be much happier now. And there we go. We've got some concentrate. Now protein food is a bit low because they were eating that faster because there wasn't any corn grist. So let's find out what the deal is. Reproduction's a couple of months away. So that should be okay. Because remember, we've got that mod on here, which means we'll get somewhere between 5 and 9 piglets. And we need to hit that button so that we can go back to that button and find out that protein food is brewer's grain. Okay, so that's that stuff that I've got. Because we don't have soybeans or canola yet. We're growing canola. So we need to do some brewer's grain, which we can buy fairly cheaply from silo down here, I think. Which one is it? I think it's the left-hand one as we come from this direction. Yeah. Let's put 7,500 litres, I reckon. That'll do. Now let's go over to the other. Because I figured you'd be at the gate and stuck. Jumping around a bit, but we've got all these jobs to do. It's a busy morning. Thank you very much, Hod One. So is anybody on holiday? Anywhere exciting or interesting or different? Or are they planning to go on holiday? I have none planned at this stage. I'm hoping to potentially get to Europe in the middle of the year. Now we want to send you back to the load point. And then so that works. I think the next job, oh, that's what we had to do, wasn't it? Take this up and feed this to the pigs, and then they'll be in good shape. The cows are fine, we just want to buy a few more, and now we've got a fraction of cash. We probably can. We need to finish compacting that fresh maize to make maize silage, which I think is also mainly for the cows. I'm going to just do this the bumpy way. Too damn cold to go over. Anyway, there you go. This is just going to be annoying whatever I do. That's what I want. Brewer's grain. So now the pigs should be in good shape. Excellent. That makes perfect sense. Odd one. I cannot imagine. I know I've been nervous just in rental cars driving in Europe and the US in, you know, minus single digit Celsius, and been nervous about our preparedness if something went wrong. So it's I'm sure it's a challenge. Right. I think that is sufficient for the pigs. Obviously, we'd like some more energy food, but they're not going to run out super quickly. So they're going to be good for a bit. The cows, as I was saying, are actually out of moisture food and power food. What are those food groups? Okay, so we've got sugar beets coming. And we could give them grain grist or just some mineral feed. The reason I say we've got sugar beet coming is we must be getting pretty close to harvest on the sugar beet. Let's have a look at that. We are at harvest on the sugar beet, so we can solve that problem ourselves. Well, at least part of it. There was a job I didn't know that we had to do today. I'd forgotten completely about. So maybe the next thing to do is to take care of that. It's not a big field. So let's have a look at the look at all this equipment. At least when we get the sugar beet in, that'll be the last of our crops in for the minute. This is how much compacted? 74%, so I've almost finished compacting that. So let's have a look in the shop here. How are we going to do the sugar beets? What's this guy? So is that trail behind? Is that how that works? Wouldn't I destroy the crop if it trails like that? I suppose we can always turn crop destruction off. Thank you. I did not notice that, but it's not surprising. And do I need a topper is the question. That digs them out. And yes, I do need a topper, which means I need something. Is that a topper? Mark Haythornwaite, how are you? That sounds like a meal that we'd all want to be part of, Mark. Let us lease one of these. and release one of these and figure out where I've blocked the truck with the auger, which is okay. So let's get you out of the way. We've just upgraded the capacity on our ability to make corn grist meal, which has worked fairly successfully. So we can put you in and slide you over here out of the way for the minute. And let's go back and pick up stuff so we can do the beets. By the time we get back, maybe the sunshine will be in the right spot. Too much wine. Is there such a thing? I've found the most significant challenge with the wine consumption in France was when different varieties accompanied different courses. That's when I tended to get into the too much wine category. Especially when it starts at lunchtime. Did a wonderful trip from, it's a day tour you can do from Paris to Epinay to visit the Moet and Chandon vineyard and cellars. And oh, I should put the front on first, that'd be easier, wouldn't it? Yeah, we toured Moet and Chandon in 92. And it's just a wonderful spot to visit. And then they take you to a regional chateau on the way back to Paris, and you get a 5-course lunch and everything that goes with it. It was just the best day. But I calculated that based on the average retail price of a bottle, as I understood it in those days, they had at least $5 billion of stock in 1992 dollars sitting under the hillside in France there. It was quite extraordinary. Have I got enough horsepower to run both at the same time? That is a very interesting question. This tractor is due an upgrade, so I'm pretty sure I've got the capacity to upgrade it, and we may actually have enough cash in the bank to do so. So let's investigate that when we get back. I was prepared for the fact that I would have to do it separately, Cranky. But that's a very good question, because given the amount of things I'm trying to think of at once, I invariably would have forgotten. Let us just look here. So the requirements would be 85 and 185, 270, and we have in the fence. Not enough. Not even close to enough. So, is the John Deere? No. But if we upgrade it, what can we take it to? Is it that one? No, it's the next one up, isn't it? Where is it? Is it a large, technically? No, that's the 900. Where's the 730? Am I going crazy here? Why can't I see the 732 there? 16, 18, 20, 22. Oh, we've got the 718. Why did I think it was the 732? Okay. So we can get it up to 246, but that's still not going to be enough. So we might as well just drop you off. Put you down. And top away. Easy peasy. Now, we should be able to do one lap and then safely let you do that on your own, I think. What was the best course in tonight's feast, Mr. Haythornwaite? Feels like we're got a dark winter's thing happening here, doesn't it? One of these sort of small alpine valleys in central France or Germany. Yes. Yeah, I think I had 2 meals of leftovers yesterday and loved all of it. Right. Well, let's get you started up there. Hello. Happy with that. Now, what else have we got? That's going to take care of moisture food. We've got nowhere to put it. Yes, well, we had leftovers of most things. My wife's quite accomplished at, well, cooking in general, but desserts tend to be her specialties, and she makes her mother's Christmas pudding. While that's this tractor, where is it? Let's take you off there. Then we finish compacting. I've given up on trying to keep the maize in this silo. It keeps spilling out the front. Where are we up to? 75. You're not got enough ergs to get up there and you're too heavy. Tractor's not quite heavy enough for this job. We're getting there. Ah, lovely. Yes, well, we have a boiled fruitcake, well, baked fruitcake going at the moment, Christmas cake variety, and we actually had last year's puddings. So the general pattern in our house is so there's a car race, Bathurst, in October, which sees me plant in front of the TV pretty much all day, because it's a 1,000-kilometre race that I religiously watch, and so that traditionally in our house has become Christmas pudding cooking day, because it's about a 20-hour process to produce these puddings. And then the last couple of years, for one reason or another, we haven't had quite as many people for Christmas dinner, so they haven't eaten all the puddings. So we actually had leftovers from last year, which got consumed this year, and they were, well, they are lovely. It was quite funny. One of the neighbours was walking with my wife and was somewhat horrified to think that you'd be eating last year's pudding. It's like, do you understand how much alcohol goes into these? They're going to last a long time. Okay, we got the job done. I wonder if it'll let me push some of this back into the clamp. Looks like we spill out a little, not too bad. I've never used courseplay on, I'm hoping to on here. I'm just conscious that I don't have the tool set up necessarily. I don't have kind of the other tractor is better for, let's turn that off. Turn that off. Let's get out of the cab. Lift the front, put you away. I have seen one of FSG's tutorial videos on it. I've got to rewatch it. I figure we'll do that on here, we'll set that up on here in due course, because we're going to end up with several clamps the way we're going, and need to, as we increase the number of animals that we've got, we will need to use a bit more. So I'm just sort of learning as I go. Disturbed has a video on it as well. Okay, I will have a look at that one. Now, the only question I have, Hodge One, is that an innocent question, or is that a question deliberately to a man who has admitted to consuming significant alcohol, forcing him to think and type. The latest version of StockCheck will show compaction and fermentation age of the bunker silo. Let us have a look. And so course play, I'll show you in a second. You've almost certainly seen it, even if you didn't recognize what it was, Hodge One. So what am I looking at here? I am looking at bunker silos. So it probably is not recognizing Maize Plus. Is that what I would conclude? Although it's recognizing the grass silage, but it's not got the volume. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one I'm running on here is the one you sent me. Let me just have a look. I consciously went and upgraded. If not, I will, let's have a look here. I'll be back in just a moment. So, Steam library. Let's find the correct directory. In there. And in there. We can always go out and reload if I've in fact been a doofus. Where's that total stock check? Why can't I see it there? TSS stock check. I am not running the correct version. That would be why. Okay, we can fix that. Let's do that. Before we go any further, we will sort that out. That will only take a second. Let's save out of there. And quit out of there. Quit out of there so I can go and play in the directory. Copy that to there. Too many directories with too many mods, so delete that one and fix the name of that one. Right. Back up here. Make sure it's registered properly and launch. After that momentary intermission, we should be back in business. We shouldn't need to do anything there. Oh, take a breath, drink. %66%, 70%. We're on fire. It's actually quiet in our house this morning, in contrast to the last couple of days when we had a 1-year-old Doberman puppy playing with our 8-year-old Kelpie, which was, to say it was chaotic would have been an understatement. They both had a wonderful time. But now, stock check. Okay, we can now see that we have a grass silage. So what's it going to so that because the grass silage is fully fermented, that's now showing. Okay, so let's come over here and so we can see what's going on. So the grass silage is fully fermented, so that shows in the stock check 99,000 litres, and that's that guy there. Excellent. And then the one next door, which we'll put the cover on in the minute, will change in state when we do that. Let's have a look at how that goes. Just see if I can get the rest of the lop on the floor here in before we do that. A bit of bleed out the side of this pit, which is just a bit disappointing, but never mind. I will show locations when I get back in just a sec. Oh, I've got the blade down. That's about as tidy as you're going to get there, Chief. Oh, how have I gone back to 99%? That's really interesting. It was 100% before. Get out of there. Come on. I suppose that's fair enough. But it was compacted. I just dropped compacted. But as soon as I drop it out of this, I guess it's technically loose, isn't it? So I'm fighting a losing battle doing that is basically the bottom line. Let's, and I haven't forgotten about course play Hodge one. I will get there in just a second. I just want to get this pit covered. You're gonna actually compact without the weight on the front or not? Yes, you are, but you're gonna do it very slowly. There we go. Right, so now TSS show locations. Grass silage is showing me 7 in bales, and okay, it's in the small bunker silo, and the fresh maize is only in the small bunker silo, and it shows that it's 100% compacted. Very neat. Okay. Nice. Or nice, as they would say. So if I want to cover that, go with R. And a little bit out the front. And now if I show locations, we've switched states to fermenting. Very nice. Nice little feature. Thank you. So as you can see, great little tool, this stock check summary. Now, courseplay. Courseplay, odd one, is the tool that I have to be in a vehicle. How are we going over here with our... It will have stopped. So if I jump into courseplay here, so I just press the delete key. It's a PC mod, obviously. And what it allows me to do is set up a course. So if I go here, you can see I've got one set up. But if I create a job for the AI worker and make it a courseplay job, then I can tell it what field I want to work in and where I want it to. That's the start position, I think, for the target. And then I've got a whole bunch of options for the type of course that it creates. And in effect, it creates a route that covers the entire field in the sort of structure that you would expect field work to occur. And so there's a few options to affect how you might do that, like the width of the tool you're using. If you've got multiple vehicles, so you can have different, you can have two vehicles that are running the same course side by side, in effect. Up to 4, I think. 4 or 3. Can't remember. 5, it says. Okay. We're only running 1. How many headlands do you want? And whether you want to start in the middle or not. And so you go ahead and generate the course, and you can see there it's created that course for us on this little field that I defined. And if you start, there's the start icons over here, and it's going to go ahead and run the course. And it'll be much more reliable than the standard in-game AI. But in this particular... Oops, I'm pointing the wrong way. In this particular case, we just want to finish with the regular AI because he's close enough. There's a faster way to create a course. Drive into a field, clear the course, and then press the no course text. Will autofill start. Oh, I did not know that. Thank you very much. Good example of something that you learn. So we'll let you trundle away there. What we had, we can put you down out of the way over here. I wonder if the John Deere has got enough oomph to pull that harvester. We'll find out. 175 versus 185, I think, from memory. No problem. We've also got a few weeds to deal with. So let's connect you on. Let's see what happens here. You need to unfold. Lower harvest, unfold harvest. I thought I did. Okay. B. Let's see. We're getting some. So that's a start. So what we could do here is per mark. Actually, we can't, because they'll clash over there with the topper. Probably could start it in the middle and it might, but we might just use a regular worker once we've got a headland. Can't believe he left that stripe there. Yeah, so now what you're saying, what is, if I click on no clause now, then it's load. Is that the, what's it giving me? It's giving me a field position. It doesn't help that I'm actually outside the field. So if I actually get into the field, I'll be in good shape. So let's try that there. Yeah, there you go. And so it's now pre-populated the field, as Mark was suggesting, and it took me straight into the course generator. So that's a neat little few keystrokes shorter, which is very helpful. We're now full, so we want to put the pipe out, which is on that side, of course. Let's lift you up. And we need a trailer. Can I squeeze through there? There we go. So I'll have to include that little shortcut feature in my next video. Let's pull you in for the minute. Oh, what do you stop for? And it's exactly that circumstance as an example, Hodge one, as to why you use courseplay on some of these funny shaped fields too. Because courseplay, being an actual course, will not stop like that. It'll keep going until it reaches the end, unless it has an actual obstacle get in the way. Let's clear up. Another headland. ourselves some better working room here. Right. Yeah, what's our weed situation? Are these might even be large weeds now, are they? They are large weeds, so we need to spray. Do we have anything? Are we lucky? No, we are not. Although a milk tank would be useful. So we need to sort ourselves a sprayer. That is a very helpful tip, that one. He's on fire, is Mr. Haythornwaite. You should have more drinks more often. We learn all this stuff about how your mod works, and now there was something else that I was going to do other than just keep harvesting, but I can't remember what it was, so we'll just keep harvesting. The other thing with course play, Hodge One, is it integrates with auto drive, so you can set up so that harvesters get unloaded by trailers, and even when multiples are running. So you watch some of FSG and Argsy's stuff, they do a lot of multiple vehicle automation. Which is a real godsend if you're playing on big maps. It's just a whole different set of challenges managing the vehicles. And well, we're certainly going to get plenty of sugar beet off here, which is good to see. I'm not even going to get up this row. So much for picking the grass up. We had plenty of chores to do today, didn't we? Eventually we'll have that forage header nudged right out of the way. So what we can do... Oh, that was the job I was going to do. Is I reckon we can afford to buy some mature cows so that we can get some milk happening in here. So if we... Where are we here? We need our animal production. So we've only got 6 8-month-old cows, and they're not going to produce any milk for another year. Or a little over. So that's a fair bit of grass in a bunker silo. So we're going to add some of the right food in a minute. We'll put I think it's the moisture food is the beets. So I reckon, where is the purchase point here? Is it on this side? Open animal dialogue. That's the one I want. And let's grab some Holsteins. So they're 12 months. Let's grab some 18-month-old. So we'll select those and we'll grab 6. And that should mean in a couple of months we get some milk. And you finished again before you finished. Maypole. Ah. What do you think of Maypole, Mark? That's Cavalier Roy, I think, map, if I'm not mistaken. Let's finish this off. Quicker to do it ourselves. Small but very interesting. Oh, that's nice. What am I doing? Let's try putting the header down. Or the topper, I should say. Yeah, that Homburg map I looked at yesterday. I got even the name right. I've forgotten. Brain dead. That I did the last night's stream on. It's got a lot of potential. Just needs a few things sort of work through, I think. Yeah, I tend to like that. Well, I actually also like the challenge of getting the auto drive to work with the smaller equipment. So, you know, using different size pieces of equipment with courseplay at the same time. You know, so a 3-meter plough, a 4-meter plough, and a 5-meter plough all working the field. Those sorts of challenges appeal to me, and the fact that they're smaller fields then means it's not still half an hour until they finish. Yeah, that was for those of you that didn't. So Mark popped in for a bit as I was doing the tour in last night's stream, and it's a very pretty map and nice terrain, undulating without being hilly, and some people have spent a lot of time, you know, decorating and laying the place out, but they've gone a little bit overboard with fences and road furniture with collisions, which make it really difficult to get stuff around. Thankfully, if you own the right spots, you can delete certainly the fences. But it does make getting even medium-sized equipment around the map a little bit challenging. And there's some nice productions built into the map without it being cluttered. It's got a really nice feel to it. Unfortunately, the lighting also needs a bit of tweaking, and I don't know enough about how lighting works to be able to recommend what that requires. Yeah, so if we put this on here like so. And said, okay, do this on course play. So we want clockwise headlands, no overlap. The work width of this, is it 2.8? Let's have a look before we do anything. It always pays to check. It says it's 3, so bump that up to 3. 1 tool, 2 headlands is fine. Start on the headland, sharp corners, clockwise. In the center. Automatic will do. No islands. Generate the course looks pretty good. Start the job just behind me. You can do that. There we go. 37 contracts. Yeah, there you go. That's why I must say I'm really enjoying this map, because it's kind of got the feel of being lived in, but I haven't needed to do contracts would be nice. It gives a little bit of extra cash, and there are the grass ones available along the freeway. But with the way we've set it up, it's kind of got enough to do to keep us going now. I really don't have the, and particularly with Maize Plus, not finding I've got the time to do contracts. I'd run out at hours. Admittedly, we're only playing single day month at present. Now, what have we got? That's a weeder. And we need a sprayer, don't we? Because it's gone to large weeds. We should have weeded last month. That was the deal. So, sprayers. What are our spraying options? This guy looks like something we should be giving a go. Only holds 1,000 litres. Don't know what the mix is for. Do we put WD-40 in? Agent Orange? Who knows? $1,000. Don't think we want to spend $1,000. Let's just see if we got anything else. They're all much of a muchness. I'm a bit of a fan of the backpack ones, I must admit. Although, I think we'll give this a whirl. I've never used this before, so let's lease one of those. We're going to need some herbicide. Let's go for Helm. One of those. I might as well take you back, mightn't we? So you can see there, Hodge 1 under course play out. Harvester is happily navigating the headland of our field. That's an added bonus. I did wonder why that start point seemed a lot more random than I expected it to be, so that's good to know. I need to unload now, so you can continue across to the store. Vehicle buy sell. Off you go. And we'll stop you. It's quicker to take you to the trailer than it is to... Let's hit the right buttons. What we need to be doing is bringing a container across to the field. If I had confidence that pouring them in would work. You were on your second headland, if I recall. Somewhere around about here. Next waypoint. How did I go? Not too bad. Now, what are we going to do with this load? Let's get rid of the topper. Yes. And hook you back up. Refill. And that's a bit annoying. We'll have to magically have that delivered to our farm, I think. "15 metre width, that feels like about the right speed for our operation. Which field are we doing here with weeds? It'll be the one that's got weeds all over it, won't it? Let's use Mark's little trick here. Clockwise, 15 meters, 2 headland. Do all of that. That field will do fine. Start the job. And guess what? Start point is where? Wasn't in front of us, but the end point was. It would appear to have some idea of where it's going. Thanks for popping in, Mark, and thanks for the great tips. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your time in France. Oh, did I have it on center first? That's okay. I probably shouldn't have, but that'll do the job. Thank you, Cranky. Always rely on you to correct my errors. let's turn that off. We need unloading again. We've got nothing to unload you into a minute. Let's see. We're definitely still a tractor short. Happy New Year if we don't see you on Thursday evening. Let's see how effective this is. If I'd been thinking about it, I would have positioned it there before. And we want to turn you off for a second. Not to drive on the barley crop. Now you're gonna question it. $64 question is: are you loading into the container or are you plonking them on the ground? Which is the experience that I've had before. Thursday morning your time. So I'll be Thursday. I'll be at this time on Thursday for you, whatever that is. So because it's Friday, I stream Friday morning from 8 till 10 Aussie. So it's Thursday evening on the continent and in the UK, and Thursday afternoon in North America. Bit of respite from the chill. Let's just duck down here. And restart you there. Good day. So things are coming along. So we need... Now that tank's going to be in the wrong spot, isn't it? Let's move that to that side of the trail. Managed to get yourself right royally tangled up there, champ. You're going to figure it out without destroying the field is the big question. Got no idea what you're trying to do. Let's have a look. You should be. You've already got 2 waypoints across there. What's the course look like? I don't want you in there, you doofus. Get out of it. Second headland. Try that. Even though you've done it. Just around here you should pick up the up and downs. So while that's sorting itself out, Where are you going to go to? Okay, I'm happy with that. You're on a course that I recognize. So now, if we have a look at the cows want, we can give them regular sugar beet. So it doesn't need to be cut. So does anyone know? It's not more trouble than it's worth on a slightly different shaped field. And I generally don't encounter those sorts of issues. Every now and again, it's because I'm interrupting it and restarting it. If I just let it go, it'd be fine. But there are certainly situations where, yes, I don't use it every time because it can be more trouble than it's worth. Now, is there a reason? And that's probably a good point, Cranky. If I put it on smooth corners, it would probably be a lot happier. It's on Modhub, Hodge 1, but the most current version, because it's a pretty sophisticated tool, is the best place to get it is off the GitHub link, which Cranky often has handy, and he may in fact post in chat for you. Now, is there a reason I should cut sugar beet to sugar beet? Do I get more volume, or do I just use straight sugar beet? That is the question. The pigs want sugar beet cut. Ah, you have a PS4. Okay. It is not available on PS4. That explains plenty. Yeah, it's an awful lot of scripting to make it work the way it does. Now, so for the pigs, I need to be able to do sugar beet cuts. So that means I need one of those Hauer buckets, doesn't it? Front loader bucket with the cutters in it. Is that the way to go? Where are we here? Front loader tools. Silage cutters. I need one of these rubies, don't I? By the looks. To make me some sugar beet. Cut. Very expensive. Or the other alternative is probably a wagon with something on the back, isn't it? What am I looking for here? I'm looking for a trailer with a cutter on it. Beat Ninja, there we go. That's $51,000. Is there a smaller version of that? Gravity wagons, short skips. What do you reckon, Cranky? What's the best way to do cut sugar beet? Is it just to go with that bucket? There's an auger wagon if you've got it downloaded. I may not have. I have a few. Potatoes, beet cart. I have auger wagons, but nothing that'll actually cut. It's a mod of the Amity. Right. The bucket's slow. Okay. See, that Amity is expensive. I'd be better off going with the one that I found, the Beat Ninja. That's over here, wherever I had it before. This guy. 51. Although I suspect we don't need an enormous amount of it. Because it's only 10% of the pigs. Nope, managed to. Really got you not performing well because of the turning circle on this thing. Back here. What were you up to? So the other observation I would make is that 2 headlands weren't enough. Is that? Which way is that going? Take that course down there and see what happens. Now, looks like our weeding is that's the one. Okay. Looks like our weeding is complete, so we've got a lot of dead weeds in there, which is good. So what we might do, it seems to me like another good trailer is not a bad thing, and we'll probably get pretty close to 50 when we sell a bit more of that produce. That sprayer seemed to work pretty well. Let's just get those bits that missed there. Seeing we got spray in the... Oh, I remember seeing Mr. Sealy Pete demo this one. Yeah, so I'm thinking, Cranky, that would be a good pickup for us, that trailer, and that we should just buy it. And the only challenge is we need 50 grand, so let us. Which if we sold some more produce, which I can easily do, we can pick that up fairly quickly. That's only a couple of loads of trees. And we've got a few other things there to do. Let's get this up here. I think we'll buy one of these sprayers too next time we need one. And for now though, let's bring you out of the way. And try and drop the herbicide somewhere moderately convenient. Like so. Then we can go into there and return it. Yes. And I need the short, which is, that's that one there. That'll be too high to load. That's the 3-axle. Where's the 2-axle? Must be up in the other yard. We'll duck up there. Oh, there it is. Well, thank you, Hodge One. I think it's coming together fairly nicely. We're managing to grow it out, and we've kind of got a few things happening. But I'll be happier when we get a little bit better organized in terms of just homes for equipment. I've still got more stuff spread out everywhere than I really would like. I mean, it's all equipment that we're using, but it's a little more cluttered than I want. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. Then try that. We need at least one more shed. That's better. Right. Now let's... Which end did I leave? Wrong end, of course. It's round. Of course. Yeah, it's Newlands. Oop. I'm only streaming on... Well, I am changing on... the stream that I'm doing on Monday night Aussie time is... I'm sort of choosing as I go. Let's see if we can get you to line up a little bit better. Newlands is available on console, as Cranky just pointed out. So you could certainly have a go at it. You wouldn't be able to fix necessarily some of the things that just need it adjusting is the only issue you might run into. But you could certainly give it a whirl. Now let's pick you up. That's it. Right. And let's see. We can go and get these unloaded. Oh, there you go. I am enjoying Silver Run. That's I'm having a lot of fun. I'm enjoying all of the different ways to play. Actually, oops. Let's lower you off again. But yeah, no, Silver Run's got a really nice feel to it, and Jake and Paige are having a good time. Oh, don't do that. There is a setting for that. Empty when over, stop while unloading. Yes. And now you're going to get stuck again turning at the end of the field, are you? Because you're going to be full in 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm hoping to get the next episode out today. I've recorded it. And where are you going to put me? So this is a feature of course play here, or Hodge 1. So he knows there's crop in the area on the other side. So he's stopped to get unloaded, but he's actually backed out of the crop to give me a space. In a minute, he should put his... There it is. Pipe up. And you can't find the trigger up there, can you? So if we let you off. There we go. And now I just have to be ready to slide it backwards when he takes off. There we go. Somewhat synchronized. Yes, well, I like the horses, and the horses, even though I haven't done very much with them so far, introduce an interesting dynamic because they provide a little bit of funding, which actually makes a difference trying to keep the pace of the series up. So I'm planning to do a little bit more in the second year with the horses, so because I think there's more scope to use horses on the map. That's going to crash into the tree. I don't know how you could conclude that that was a smart place to try and turn. Not like the objects weren't obvious. Yeah, we want that line about there, I suspect. It's just a little unfortunate there's not a few more things you can do with horses in game. It would be great if there were implements that they could, and trailers and buggies and things that they could pull, because you could just make the stories a bit more immersive. Right, so this container's too big to get in to give the cows. Yep, we're ready already. Doesn't take much to fill it. Entirely realistic in terms of positioning or usage, but it's doing the job. Well, folks, we might actually leave things just here. We've had a pretty good day in terms of getting chores done. There's still a few more things to do, and we might pick those up later in the week. I'll get some I will get some produce delivered so that we can get the sugar beet cut and fed to the animals. But until next time, keep having fun, stay out of the bad weather if that's affecting your neighborhood, and we'll catch you again on Thursday afternoon, evening in North America and US, UK, Europe, Friday morning Australian time. So until then, have fun, be safe, see ya.